What if there was a forgotten law that didn't just govern your behavior, but shaped the very structure of your destiny? A spiritual cipher whispered through the ages, promising liberation through alignment with your deepest essence. Today, we enter the world of Thelema, a mystical system introduced by Aleister Crowley that continues to echo through occultism, art, and modern mysticism. But this is no ordinary teaching. This is a summons to uncover the divine blueprint encoded within your soul. To understand Thelema, we must begin with its messenger, Aleister Crowley. Polarizing and brilliant, he is either revered as a prophet or dismissed as a provocateur. A deeper exploration of his life deserves its own time. But for now, let's focus on the moment in 1904 that would alter the landscape of Western esotericism forever. While traveling through Egypt, Crowley and his wife, Rose Edith Kelly, engaged in a series of ritual experiments. During one of these, Rose unexpectedly entered a trance state and began speaking of a presence that awaited them, an entity connected to the ancient god Horus. Crowley, skeptical by nature, tested her. To his astonishment, Rose described specific symbols and attributes of Horus with uncanny accuracy, details she had no academic access to. Then, on April 8, 1904, in a room in Cairo, bathed in desert light and mystery, Crowley received a transmission. For 3 consecutive days, a voice identified as Aiwas dictated what would become Liber al vel Legis, the Book of the Law. This transmission would not just redefine spiritual practice, but herald the dawn of a new cosmic era, the Aeon of Horus. In this new age, Thelema declared that individual will, not imposed morality, was the engine of evolution. This marked a departure from blind obedience and a turn toward radical inner truth. From this revelation emerged the central law. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. At first glance, this phrase may appear to champion egoism or chaos, but its true meaning is far more profound. Will, here, is not the desire of the ego, but the deeper sacred purpose that each soul is born with. Thelema teaches that every individual carries a hidden code, what Jung might call the self, or the Dharma in Eastern traditions. Finding it is the key to true freedom. This quest isn't easy. It requires peeling away layers of conditioning and illusion. Through rituals, meditation, and study, Thelemites seek to unearth this true will. And when a person aligns with it, artificial morality becomes obsolete. Like planets in perfect orbit, each person moves in harmony with the cosmos, causing no conflict, only flow. The cosmos, in its vast complexity, seems chaotic only until we understand its rhythm. Thelema proposes that the same pattern exists within us. Living according to your true will doesn't mean surrendering to whim, but rising into alignment with the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Crowley likened this alignment to celestial bodies, each with its own orbit, each in perfect synchrony with the others. When each person finds their place in the great pattern, conflict dissolves and harmony prevails. But this is no excuse for indulgence. Discovering true will demands discipline, courage, and sincerity. It is the sacred labor of self-discovery. To live by it is to live with purpose, free not from responsibility, but from falsehood. That's why Crowley called this the only path that truly exists. All else, he said, is illusion, a diversion from the real work. The second maxim of Thelema is equally misunderstood. Love is the law, love under will. But this is not sentimental or romantic love. This is love as a cosmic force, creative, unifying, boundless. In Thelemic thought, love is not blind passion, but conscious energy directed by true will. For Crowley, love was the magnetic pulse of the universe, the attraction of opposites, the fusion of polarities. It's the energy that binds galaxies, and also the subtle power that links human souls. True love emerges only when each individual walks their own path without infringing on another's. Love under will means that love, too, must be guided by one's sacred purpose. It should never bind or control. It liberates. It uplifts. When two people align with their own will and respect that of the other, love becomes a sacred mirror, a reflection of universal order. This ethic of Thelema turns morality inward. No external rules dictate right or wrong. Instead, ethics arise from alignment. The more attuned we are to our true will, the more naturally we act in ways that honor freedom, truth, and harmony. Crowley associated this kind of transcendent love with the goddess Nuit, a symbol of infinite space and divine embrace. In Liber al-Vel Legis, Nuit invites the seeker to dissolve their identity into her infinite sky, to become one with the all. This is love as cosmic ecstasy, not attachment, but communion. In this way, Thelema proposes a radical idea that spiritual freedom and cosmic love are two sides of the same coin. When you act from your true will, love is not something you seek. It radiates from you. It becomes the pulse of life itself. The Book of the Law, Liber al-Vel Legis, is divided into 3 chapters, each dictated by a different divine intelligence, each revealing a facet of Thelemic wisdom. The first chapter belongs to Nuit, the infinite sky, the mother of stars. Her message is one of boundless potential and ecstatic union. She proclaims, every man and every woman is a star. Each soul, luminous and unique, has a destined orbit in the divine dance of existence. This chapter invites us to surrender our ego and awaken to our true nature, a spark of the divine, born to expand and radiate. The second chapter is the voice of Hadit, the inner flame, the secret fire within. Where Nuit is the vast expanse, Hadit is the point at its center, the impulse, the drive, the living spark. He declares, I am the flame that burns in every heart. Hadit is the call to self-discovery through direct experience. He tells us that no dogma or priesthood can substitute for the truth that lives within. His is a path of fierce autonomy and radiant individuality. The final chapter belongs to Ra-Hoor-Khuit, the warrior child, the crowned and conquering sun. A symbol of divine force, Ra-Hoor represents the breaking of old structures and the birth of a new consciousness. Unlike passive spirituality, this aspect of Thelema calls for strength, courage, and action. Ra-Hoor does not ask you to retreat into silence. He asks you to become a force of transformation in the world. Together, these 3 voices offer a sacred trinity. Nuit, the divine matrix. Hadit, the inner flame. And Ra-Hoor, the agent of change. Each chapter speaks to a part of your journey, from awakening to self-realization to active manifestation. Thelema is not a system of belief, but a path of becoming. It invites you to step beyond inherited rules and discover the divine directive encoded in your being. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. These are not just words. They are keys. But only you can turn them.